There's a forgotten B vitamin that can help you get deeper sleep if you have sleep apnea, and I'll give you a hint. It is not thiamine and it is not vitamin B12. This is groundbreaking information because I've seen this B vitamin transform people's sleep, even if there's an issue with their tongue, a deviated septum, or any other anatomical issue you can think of. That's why in this episode, I'm not only revealing what this mystery B vitamin is, but also how you can start using it tonight so you can finally stop dragging through your days and wake up feeling unstoppable. I'm Dr. Dylan Peckus, your guide in naturally overcoming sleep apnea. Whether it's your first time here or it's your 100th time here, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a beat on natural ways to help with your sleep apnea and help spread the word to others, especially about this forgotten B vitamin, because this is a huge thing. I'll tell you exactly what it is in a moment. Stick with me here. The reason it's important, I like to highlight one of our clients, Daniel. He was doing all the things, the breathing exercises, diet, environment. And this is after he's tried CPAP, mouth guard, all that. Still pretty tired. Now, he was having improvements, whether it's in his breathing metrics, having more mental clarity, but he was still waking up groggy. And he was also using an Aura ring. If you don't know what that is, you put that on and it will give you a roughly good estimate of your sleep quality in the morning. So for him, screenshot here, his REM sleep was around 40 minutes, despite doing a lot of things, and he was doing a ton of things before working with us. Now, Alto REM, if you just don't sit around memorizing facts about sleep medicine, Alto REM is going to be about 20% of sleep in about 90 to 120 minutes, or an hour and a half to 2 hours. For me, when I continue to see low REM sleep in somebody, this forgotten B vitamin is one of the first things in my mind. So we added this in, just like Emerald, I think this is, I think he did this with spices. Bam. There, I said it. I did the thing. Now, his REM sleep went way up. So after doing that, his REM sleep went from 40 minutes in the first one. Now we're basically at an hour and a half. Almost doubled. Great stuff. So his missing ingredient, that's why I used the emerald picture, was this B vitamin. I want to be clear, he was doing a lot of great things. Then this was like the turbo on top of that. And then as a result, he was able to have enough energy. He could finally pursue his career as those people in stock photos. No, he was just more energized, felt better, and his REM sleep went up. Now, the moral to this story is that sleep apnea has unique nutritional needs, just like an athlete has different demands, just like a pregnant woman has different demands, just like different vehicles, rockets versus trains, they all need different fuel and they need different cofactors, like this forgotten B vitamin, which is choline. Here, the big mystery has been revealed, vitamin B4, which is very rarely what anyone will ever call it. We'll just call it choline. And it's not technically a B vitamin in the classical sense, the functional sense. It's more of something that helps out with your membranes rather than carbon metabolism, just as a technical point here. So I want to go over, why is choline so important? Do you need it, period, and how to get it? So let's zoom in on that. So the choline situation here is that choline, just the one liner, is that it really helps things with membranes do really well. So that's why it'll help with your brain. There's a lot of lipids in there, a lot of membranes in the neurons. It'll help pretty much all membranes, and it will help out with fat metabolism and also your blood vessels. A lot of membranes in all those different areas, and your heart as well. When you have sleep apnea and sleep apnea induced inflammation, you have a lot of bad things happen, because we know when you have sleep apnea, your brain is getting a lot of damage. When you have inflammation, this is going to damage all of your cells and pretty much tear them apart. And in the process, it's going to deplete choline. And then also, sleep apnea is very hard on your heart, and that will increase the demand of choline in your heart as well. So, bottom line here is that sleep apnea will deplete your body of choline. And in fact, when they look at this, if you have bad sleep, you will have 20% lower choline levels than someone with good sleep. So, the other flip side of this is obviously low choline will then make sleep apnea worse. Maybe not so obvious. That's probably why I'm telling you and have a bunch of diagrams to show you. One of the big areas is your breathing, which obviously, if sleep apnea is disordered breathing at night, might be important. Choline is a key ingredient in making acetylcholine. Acetylcholine is something that allows your neurons to communicate from your brain to your lungs on how to breathe correctly. If you're breathing fast and irregular, that will trigger the pulling of different tissues in your airways back into your throat and make things pretty bad. And this is the mechanism for whatever anatomical problem you have. It all boils down to being triggered by a fast, irregular inhale. Because if you're breathing slower and more steady, those anatomical problems are less of an issue. But a fast, irregular breathing pattern on top makes the whole thing even worse. So when acetylcholine is low, then you're going to have a lot of bad things happen. One, your breathing is going to speed up. But then also, if you don't have this, you're also going to have more resistance to breathing. Because choline, if we look over here, this is so medical textbook. I'm sorry. If we look over here, choline is responsible for how big an airway is or how small it is. And if you don't have enough choline, then it'll be smaller, harder to breathe through. And if you do not have enough choline, it will lead to more mucus, which will make it harder to breathe once again and bring you back to a bad breathing pattern. That's not what we want. So that's why having choline is good for breathing and then also sleep quality because you can be breathing fine. That doesn't mean you're going to have good sleep quality. That's why a lot of times people, they maybe start a CPAP and it shows their AHI goes way down and they don't feel any better. They still feel exhausted because their body has lost the ability to have good sleep quality. And this comes from choline being able to be an ingredient for that thing called acetylcholine that I talked about earlier. I could zoom in here, but you would just see an even blurrier graphic, so I won't do it. But nonetheless, you need acetylcholine for your brain to signal and organize a good sleep architecture. This is how, if you're low on choline, and then using choline, it can increase your REM sleep, like we saw earlier, because it's this sleep quality. Because Daniel, his breathing was better, having good metrics, but yet still having not the sleep quality that he wanted. So, adding choline, that's what allowed his REM sleep to shoot up. And lastly, is our brain, because a lot of times we don't really think too much of being forgetful until people are in their 50s and 60s. Maybe they've seen someone go completely downhill with Alzheimer's slash dementia. Choline is a huge, huge driver. I guess lack of choline is a huge driver in the degeneration of your brain, leading to dementia and Alzheimer's. Luckily, you can reverse this by adding choline back in. And that's what we're going to talk about. I just want to make sure you're here, you're having fun. Because if you are, really appreciate, take a little pause there, hit the subscribe button. And if you're on your phone, it's just beneath the title of this video. If you're on your desktop or tablet, whatever, it's just beneath this video as well. And if you're on Roku, because 40% of you are, and don't feel too called out. I look at our YouTube analytics. You got to press like up to make something appear, and then you navigate to my face. You click that, click subscribe, and you're good to go. Why should you do it? Because then you will get more amazing information like this. And then you will also tell YouTube, hey, this is good stuff. I think other people should see it. I agree. In my highly biased opinion, they should, because this is really helpful. But please go ahead and do that. So choline, how do we do that? Well, obviously click subscribe first, but how do we get it in our body? So I want to cover the sources of choline, side effects, what to expect, and what are some amounts that have been shown in the literature to be helpful. Let's dive in. So 10 foods highest in choline. I'm just going to highlight some of these. I'm not going to read the whole list to you, but my personal favorite are going to be egg yolks. I know this says whole egg, but egg yolk technically would be the highest on this chart. So if you're someone who loves egg yolks, making egg yolk omelets, etc., give the whites to, I don't know, someone you don't like. That's something that I would really advocate for because that is such a rich source of choline. All right. Same thing for pork chops. You get a lot of other good things as well. There will be more thiamine in there, which will also be a big plus for that. Other things like 7, 8, 9, 10. Again, if you're someone who's having GI considerations or maybe you're lactose intolerant, don't rock the boat just for the sake of something you can get in other food sources. Or if you're someone who I just want to take a supplement. I also got your back. And I want to be clear, when I have episodes, my goal is to not, put a new supplement in your Amazon cart. It's just to show what is possible here. Because the goal is not to watch all my episodes and then be stuck with 20 supplements and 13 breathing exercises and 18 stress reduction techniques. It's to find what's working for you. Because there's a lot of stuff you want to see what works, just like we did with Daniel, right? We were doing things individual to him and then decided to do this because we saw a big need for it, and it minimized having to do all those things. So with this, you'll see many different brands, and I found this one really funny. I mean, this is my preferred molecular conformation of acetylcholine. So it'll be called CDP choline, or if you can see that right there, uh, CITICOLINE, acetylcholine. That's what it'll be like. And I don't know why, but apparently Macy's has this in stock. Um, Interesting. But that's my preferred one. Out of all of them, the sea of them, I don't have an affiliate. I'm not sponsored. But if I were to choose one, that would be it. My hand's over here pointing at the screen, but you can't see that. Now, side effects, because nothing in life is free. You're going to have some GI considerations. Okay, you want to be careful of that. So if you do go with the supplement, low and slow is going to win the game. This one's very interesting. Fishy body odor. A lot of time, sometimes I don't want to share side effects. I don't want to do like a negative placebo effect, but there's certain times I'm like, I don't want someone to come back a week later and comment that they smell like a fish and they don't know why. So here we are. You want to just keep a nose out for that. Your blood pressure going too low is another big consideration. And also, I mean, liver toxicity only if you do super high doses. So this is why when I'm talking about this, it's always important. Here is the disclaimer. Always talk to your healthcare provider about what's appropriate for you. Otherwise, you're doing things at your own risk. There'll be things that are unseen when we're working on our own health, or maybe just lack of knowledge, just part of it. That's why you're here learning. But always have that guidance there. Okay, you've been disclaimed. This is educational. There we go. That's the other buzzword I need to say. Now, for timeline of benefits, typically this is what I see in my experience. Within the first few days, some very subtle things. Okay, with Daniel it was pretty quick. This is actually where you started to see better sleep. I think it was 3 nights later. Nonetheless, mood will be a bit more stable. Remember, it's a very brain active substance. Fatigue goes down, and a large part of that's because of better sleep. Then, as the weeks go on, better memory, better attention. If you are monitoring your liver, because sleep apnea does really hurt your liver, you might see those improvements. And then just as time goes on, it just continues to become more and more beneficial. Now, how much? Again, I'm not telling you. This is not advice. This is what I'm sharing from the research. It's educational. Per the research, a typical dose when they do studies and they see people improve is going to be about 400 to 600 milligrams per day. That's what a typical dose in those research studies was. So if we look back at the chart here, 4 to 600 is what we're looking for. So with an egg, let's say we want to go for 600 just for easy math. That'd be 4 eggs. It's like not crazy. Okay. Very manageable. Now to help you manage this even better, because I know we just flew through a whole lot of information, want to help you make sure you digest that information because you don't want to have an information deficiency, right? So I made you the choline and sleep apnea guide, covering what we just talked about, going a little bit deeper, and having more of those examples of like 4 eggs, etc. So it's just super easy to manage and put into action. Things happen when you clap in between words. That is advice from me to you. That is very solid advice. Other advice I may give you, if you want to be able, if you haven't already, that is, you want to be able to adjust your breathing pattern so you're having way better breathing, less snoring, better sleep, all that good stuff. In my highly biased opinion, once again, Sleep Apnea Reset Protocol Workshop, where we're walking through a series of tests and exercises to be able to see what are going to be the most time efficient ways for you to improve your breathing pattern so you're sleeping better at night. Future Dylan, put that button sometime around here. If it's not here, then it's just not here. That's fine. You can find it easily. And in fact, I'm going to show you how to do that. So for the free choline guide, well, for both of them, really, the link is in the description. So if you're on your computer, it's pretty easy. Find the description box just beneath here. If you're on your phone, it's a little tricky for me, at least on my iPhone. You got to press the title. And then once you do that, then this description box will magically appear. There will be links in there. Go ahead and press that, as easy as that. Same thing for the Reset Protocol Workshop. Although sometimes there's some more magical buttons like on the screen. Not sure if they're here or not, because obviously I'm recording this. And there's also a button beneath the comment box or description box with a nice little picture of the sleep apnea reset protocol. Or if you love links because you just like to type things, or you're on your Roku TV, maybe is it a Roku TV? Is that what you would call it? I'm I'm like in the Stone Age. You wanna take your phone out or your computer, you can just go to the website directly. So for the free choline guide, that's ochnow.com/choline. Sleep apnea reset protocol, go to ochnow.com/reset. If you're super tech savvy and super cool, you can use the QR codes. Just get your phone, get the camera app. You're not gonna take a picture, you're just gonna like zoom in on it or just like put it in your focus, I guess. Photo 101 was clearly not a strong suit for me. And you're going to just, highlight or just look at through the camera lens, either one of these, then a link pops up. So if you want the guide, it's the link on, it's the QR code on the left. If you want the reset protocol, it's the QR code on the right. Click that and it takes you off. Again, if you're here, it's because you're part of the elite 15 to 20% of people left over at the end of a video. And if you are, really appreciate you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Super easy to do, unless you're on a Roku, 'cause apparently you gotta press a bunch of buttons, find my face, click on it, hit subscribe, all of that. Now, if that's you, you don't have to worry about missing the rest of the episode because we're pretty much coming to the end. So, my name is Dr. Dylan Peckus. Thank you so much for watching. There it is again. If you want the choline guide on the left, /choline, reset on the right, /reset. And either way, you're a winner because you have taken big steps here today to improve your health just by learning a little bit more. Now it's time to do something about it. Once again, Dr. Peckus, and I'll see you soon.